Today, I'm going to be telling you all about my trip this weekend as I went to the Dallas Card Show for 24 hours. You ready? Let's do it. Hello and welcome, rookie card collecting friends. Victor, the rookie card specialist, coming at you with an episode dealing with the Dallas Card Show. I was able to attend. I really did not make arrangements until maybe 2 weeks ago, and that's when I decided to go. Um, I went more on an invitation that I received for let's just call it a hobby dinner with a bunch of distinguished guests, and I was invited to that dinner and opted to take them up on that offer. Had a great time, and so I guess it was more networking, more friendship building, that kind of thing, with cards being secondary. I did not go to the Dallas Card Show specifically for cards, especially when I have the Chicago Spectacular coming up over here in the next couple of weeks. But opted to make the trip. A lot of fun making last minute arrangements, but away we went on Friday. I ended up leaving work a couple hours early because I had a 3:15 flight out of O'Hare. Got to Dallas about 5:30, and had to get an Uber. And the Uber ride was about 45-minute drive. Oddly enough, as I was taking the Uber, I had originally punched in my directions that I wanted to go to the Dallas Convention Center. About 15 minutes into the ride, I realized, no, it's not at the Dallas Convention Center. It's at the Waters Creek Convention Center in Allen, Texas. So I had to explain this to the Uber driver, who really did, and I'm not, you know, being critical or prejudiced or anything, but the guy hardly knew any English. It was really, really difficult as I threw this curveball at him right into the trip, and we're trying to communicate, and there was like a definite language barrier here, to the point where he pulled off to the emergency lane in the middle of the expressway. And I'm like, what the heck is going on here? Why is this guy doing this? And so we're trying to have a conversation, and I couldn't make it out, but it almost seemed to me like he wanted me to cancel the trip and that he would just take me the rest of the way for cash. And something just didn't sit right with me. The whole and we're sitting in the middle of the expressway in the emergency lane for close to 10 minutes trying to figure out what the heck to do. And I'm trying to tell him, and he hands me his phone to punch in the address where I actually want to go, but his phone is like in a different language. So the keyboards was like completely different to what I'm used to. And it's like, wow, what is going on here? And so I finally relayed to him, I want to change it through the app. How do I do that? And he was like, I don't know. I'm like, are you kidding me? I didn't want to cancel and go cash and all this. No, I wanted to do legit. Let's play by the rules. Let's follow what we got to do. And there's a way of doing it. And I finally figured it out in the middle of a pressure situation. There was a feature on the app that said add or change destination. And I was able to punch in the new destination, and away we went. It cost me like an additional $15 because we had to reroute. And I went ahead and tipped the guy, even though I felt it was kind of an awkward situation. I went ahead and tipped him. I tipped him good because really it's my fault to begin with, right? You gotta, if you're coming out of an airplane and you're ordering an Uber, you should know where you're going, right? So that in that aspect, he's not at fault. And I don't blame him for having a language barrier either. I put him in a pressure situation, and we just had a little miscue there. That's all. But finally got to the location. I didn't end up going to the card show on Friday. I had an 8 p.m. Dinner reservation, and it was about 10 after 7 already when I got there. And it was like, you know what, I'm not even going to go to the convention center. Just drop me off across the street where the restaurant was at, and was able to have a great time, a great dinner, great conversation with that. Um, and then I headed off to the hotel room afterwards, and I get an invitation from Dave, who I talked about a couple of episodes ago. Dave, who is a 1984 star Michael Jordan basketball card collector, and that's like his focus. So if you have any 84 star Jordans that you would like to sell, let me know and I will hook you up with Dave, who is always looking for 84 star. Shout out to Dave. He found out that I was in town. He gave me a message on Instagram. He said, Victor, I would love to take you out for lunch. Again, let's sit down and have a chat. We've done a lot of talking over the phone and through Instagram and that. And I was like, yeah, man, Dave, sure, man. I'd love to meet you too. And but he was like, I don't want to take away from your card show. And I'm like, no, don't worry about that, because the card show, like I says, was kind of secondary. And so I told him, don't worry about that. I would love to meet you. And so we made arrangements for that. But the following morning, Rich Klein picked me up, Uncle Rich, and great guy. Sometimes I think that Uncle Rich don't like me, and then sometimes I think that Uncle Rich loves me, and I guess that's just Uncle Rich, right? But we ended up going. He picked me up from the hotel room because we had an episode of Hobby Hotline. I was scheduled to be on Hobby Hotline that morning, so he says, Victor, if you want to do the show from my office, we can just do it that way, because I didn't know if I was going to have connection or if you guys were going to be able to hear me with the audio. And it was just a big mess. And I took him up on his offer. So he picked me up about 9 o'clock in the morning, and we had a little bit of time to kill. And he was like showing me around Allen, Texas a little bit. Allen, Texas is just absolutely beautiful. I ended up taking a walk around Friday night, and it was just absolutely beautiful. Some of the features that they have in like this like shopping square or shopping center. I don't know what it was called, but just a real good family environment and atmosphere. And he ended up driving me around to and showed me Kyle's card shop and this Color Dynamics company. We drove by there, which is an actual company, card manufacturing companies, where they print and package up cards. So we drove through there, and he was just showing me around town a little bit. And we went back to his office and logged on, and we did an episode of Hobby Hotline. It was pretty cool because I was like pressed for time, and especially with the lunch date that I had with Dave, and we kind of just worked up a plan where I came on for the first half, and then we did like a call to the bullpen, right? And called in Bruce Suter here, and that's when Uncle Rich came in and kind of relieved me. So about 9:30 or so, I was headed off to the card show. Uncle Rich relieved me, and I went and I walked over to the convention center, which was only about a block or two away from his office, and had a great time at the card show. Ended up, picking up some things, not much. Again, I didn't have a lot of time or a lot of money. Actually, I didn't bring with me, and so it was one of them things where I had a great time at the card show. Here is my take on the Dallas Card Show. There was plenty, and that's my word for the Dallas Card Show, November of 2023 when I went, and that is plenty. That's the word I will use for it. And the reason why is there was plenty of people, as you can see here in some of the footage that I'm going to show you. In my experience, I went on Saturday. I was there from like 9:30 to about 12 o'clock. I was in the showroom floor. And I can tell you from my experience, number one, there was plenty of people. Not only was there plenty of people, there was plenty of variety. You talk about, there was plenty of vintage, a lot of vendors there that had vintage. There was a lot of dealers there that had ultra modern. There was some TCG. There was a nice balance of everything. And to me, I was specifically looking out for that. And I don't know if that was by design by Kyle, who runs the show, but if it is, kudos to him and his management of bringing in an equal amount of everything. And they had it all there, and they had, you know, quarter boxes to dollar boxes, plenty of vendors for that. And they had high end stuff. There was a lot of conversations that I was overhearing. I'm very observant, but a lot of conversations where they're talking 10, 20, 30, 40, $50,000. And you see stacks of hundreds on display cases. And so you saw that kind of action there, but you also saw a healthy balance of quarter and dollar boxes. So as far as diversity is concerned, there was something there for everybody. So kudos to them on that. There was also, like I says, plenty of money. There's plenty of money there. I mean, this is, to me, it can be considered like a high end show, even because if that's what your taste is, Dallas Card Show is a good show for you, because that there's a lot of, you know, there's a lot of big money cards there. And there's also what I really enjoyed. There was plenty of Michael Jordan cards, and I'm more using Cajun Cardboard's poster. I'm more of the tier 3, tier 4 Jordan, and there was plenty of that stuff there. They also, like, if you like a smaller card show vibe, they also have a couple of ancillary rooms that are smaller in size, but they do have vendors set up in there where it kind of gives it kind of like a smaller show type vibe to it, right? But it is also part of the attraction. They also had a couple of food trucks out front, which to me is just a genius idea. And they had, what I really appreciated was, they had corporate presence there where it was more, like PWCC, and Beckett was there, several others. I can't name them all, but they have they set those guys up along the foyer. It's a pretty big foyer, and they set the corporate guys out there, kind of out of the way, not putting a corporate presence inside of the showroom floor, but keeping it separate. And to me, was just a genius idea. Again, if that was Kyle and a management decision, I think that's top notch. It's little things like that I noticed that it pretty much creates a good consumer experience, right? And that's what I experienced. So my overall experience, I don't know what people's expectations are of Dallas anymore. I don't know if they're trying to measure it compared to the Dallas Card Show 2-3 years ago. I don't think that's fair, because it was a different market back then. But as far as overall health of that card show, very vibrant, very a buzz of excitement, plenty of people, and I didn't see any dip or any. The show wasn't lacking anything. It was all there, plenty to do, plenty to see, plenty to buy, and just overall very good experience from somebody who, I don't go there every 2 months. Like some people, they go there every 2 months, and yeah, they might see ebbs and flows, ups and downs of the show that perhaps I don't. But I've been to Dallas in 2022, I believe it was, or 2021 was the last time I was there. And then I went this time, and to me, there was no difference. I mean, there was just that much going on. And some of that too can just be, if you hear complaints and that sort of thing. To me, I don't know. I'm just grateful that I had the opportunity to go to something like that. That I don't look at things in a negative sense per se. And I think a lot of that is part of that also. Are you glass is half empty or the glass is half full type of mindset, right? So to me, a lot of it is that personality. A lot of it too can be ego. You have some people that are just hard to please, and they critique everything, and there's just like this snobby, arrogant attitude. And I don't know, to me, I'm just so grateful to be there and have an opportunity to be there, that I look at things more with a, glass half full type thing. Now, if I wanted to criticize and critique and pinpoint and just only look for the bad, that's anybody can do that. But I think that has a lot to do with things as well. So overall, A+ on the Dallas Card Show. You guys did a great job. Thank you for to Uncle Rich, to Dave, and everybody involved, all the people I met, just very friendly and just a great group of people. And I can't wait to go next time. I'd love to. I'm gonna probably make Dallas an annual visit. Pickups. Did pick up a few things. And again, I was on the showroom floor from 9:30 to 12:30, and that was plenty for me. I did pick up this 1997 Leaf Reproductions of Barry Sanders, serial number to 1948. But I like this card. This card is from, I wanted to get a card to memorialize. I bought this one from Mike Moynihan and Garrett, who were set up at the card show. But I wanted to get a card that kind of memorialized their basement purchase, right? And I found this one. I purchased this one off of Mike, and I didn't pay sticker for it. And I told him, well, what do you want for it? Give me a deal on that. It says, I told him, hey, somebody told me not to ever pay stickers. So I kind of used his own words against him, right? So I got this one, and I got another card that I'm not going to show because I'm going to gift it to somebody, a friend of mine, a friend of the channel, and I will be sending that off as a Christmas present. Also, I picked up this Michael Jordan card insert. I have a thing for the early insert cards of Jordan. I know there's plenty of them out there, but what they mean to me. I remember, opening packs in that time era, trying to pull Jordan inserts, Jordan anything really at that time. But this was always a card that eluded me, and I always wanted it. And it's the famous nicknames insert, and it's got Air for his Air Jordan nickname. And so I picked this one up in a PSA 9. I wanted it in a 10, but I think a 9 is good enough. I went ahead and pulled the trigger on that. And as I was leaving, I saw this young man who had a Corbin Carroll Topps Chrome Refractor rookie. I picked that up. It just caught my eye. I was looking for some Josh Young as well. Did not see many Josh Young, not one that I was going to pull the trigger on anyways. And but I was excited to pick up that Corbin Carroll. I was pretty impressed with Josh Young in the postseason. Actually, his entire season was pretty solid. But when you looked at the totality of his work in the postseason, to be at that level, right, with that pressure situation of the postseason and the World Series, the kid came off without a glitch. I mean, defensively, he was just a monster over there at third base. Offensively, he did pretty good as well, and had some highlight moments, some key hits, right? But not to take anything away from Corbin Carroll. I mean, yeah, he had a rough couple of games, but he also had a couple of games that were pretty decent. I mean, he really, when you look at the body of work that he's done this year, over the top. So those are two kids that I think I'm going to be really keeping my eye on, especially if I can pick up some nice rookie cards of them. And so those will be kind of my go-to guys. I typically will pick a player or two that impresses me over the season, and then I'll pick up their cards in the off season. Well, listen, that's all I really have for you guys. Thank you for tuning in. There's a lot planned for the channel. I'm getting a lot of requests. I've had 3 people in the last 30 days reach out to me and say, hey, your videos about the cards, which cards are which, you need to make more of that type of content, is some of the messages that I've been getting. I've done one recently on Deion Sanders, on the tennis player Coco Golf, and My most popular channel on or most popular video on my YouTube channel is the rookie cards of Shohei Ohtani, and I did a pretty exhaustive video on how to get rid of the fluff and carve out which cards are actually rookie cards. And it seems like I'm getting a lot of requests for those types of videos. I will end up creating some videos like that. I do like making those. They are just very labor intensive to make. There's a lot that goes into it, a lot of research that goes into them, but I do enjoy the outcome of them because they are evergreen content. It's content that just continues to get views over and over and over again as time goes on. And that's how come I like making those kind of videos. But with that said, guys, that's all I really got. Jam-packed action weekend. Just love doing that kind of stuff. It's an opportunity that doesn't come along very often, but it's nice to get out of the norm and kind of break the monotony of of life sometimes and just do something exciting. And that's exactly what this weekend was. It was absolutely exciting. I tell you, Dallas has got some doggone delicious food. I don't know what is it. I don't know what they do, but it's like everything I ate was just like phenomenal. Just tasted so delicious. And so with that said, you guys, thanks for tuning in. Hey, remember, not all rookie cards are created equal. Until next time, buenos nachos, muchachos.
This card is so smoking hot right now and will be forever because it is now being recognized as the true Jordan rookie from 1985.